Hello and welcome to our presentation. This is obviously a very brief presentation, um, and my name's Chelsea Litchfield and I work with Dr. Tegan Hartmann, and we're conducting some research around the absence of female participants or female subjects in exercise science and physiological research. Now, this research came about through many years of sitting in honours students' presentations and PhD student presentations, and also colleagues, listening to colleagues talk about their research in exercise science and who their subjects or their participants were. As a social scientist myself, and Tegan certainly fits more in the physical sciences researching category, I suppose, I did wonder why female participants weren't used as often as male participants. And I also noticed that the female participants that were used tended to be a lot older and a specific population, whereas the male participants that were used tended to be young, fit, strong males. So that prompted an interest into why there is a lack, or there tends to be a lack of focus on female participants or subjects in exercise science research. So I guess it's widely documented in most sports that historically women and men have not had the same opportunities, and that's, I guess, where a lot of my research fits into this, particularly in the context of sports media and participation opportunities, leadership positions, coaching opportunities, etc. And I guess I wonder whether this is another example of the subjugation of women in sports, and I guess a lack of interest in finding out about women's sports experiences, and also women bodies or female bodies in this space as well. There is less documentation on how gender is prioritised by researchers in research relating to exercise science, physiology, and research participation, and I guess that's why we wanted to focus on this paper. And in particular, research participants in exercise science, physiology-based research, and we decided to look at several high-profile and I guess highly ranked exercise science and physiology journals worldwide. In fact, some of the journals that we have started to collect data from include the American Journal of Applied Physiology, the British Journal of Sports Medicine, the European Journal of Applied Physiology, and the Journal of Science and Medicine in Sports, to name a couple. Now, obviously, our results or our data collection is not exclusive to these journals, but they provide a good starting point. And I guess the exact journals that we'll be using in the overall research will be refined as we go along, as the work is in work is in progress and certainly in the preliminary stages of data collection. The other purpose of this research is that we want to investigate not only the gender but also the age of research participants in relation to research focus, the gender of the first author, and the country of origin of the research. For example, is there a correlation between who is completing the research and which participants are used, or the gender of the participants that are used? So that is something we also plan to find out. We also want to know how the current exercise science and physiology research engages the use of female participants, and how that's contextualized with the experiences of women in other facets of the sporting world. So I'll certainly be exploring that in relation to some of the previous research that has occurred in relation to women in sport more broadly. So that's I guess the focus of our research, and I know I'm nearly up with a time limit, but some preliminary findings so far have been that we're finding in one of the first journals that we've looked at, which is the Journal of Applied Physiology, we're finding that by far there are certainly more male participants or subjects that are used in research in this particular journal. And we're also finding that where women are used, they tend to be used in projects that are not measuring performance, or how high someone can jump, how far someone can run, etc. We're actually seeing some interesting results in projects that are focusing on things such as swallowing performance, and also the mechanics of whistling. So they tend to be projects where it's, you know, in, um, very safe to have female participants, and certainly far less females in things such as you know, measuring muscle mass around different types of exercises, and exercise, and certain types of chronic conditions. So that tends to be what our preliminary findings are showing, but we certainly plan to submit a paper once we've collected a little more data to this particular journal, and we hope to provide some more information soon. So thank you for listening, and have a great day.